Now to our ANZ Test Player of the Year. As we all know, Test cricket is the ultimate examination of skill and temperament. A 5-day battle that so often boils down to split-second decisions. In its nuances, we find the essence of the sport, and in its great performances, we divine the essence of the player. To make a Test team takes a tenacity very few possess. Test cricket is different gravy from the rest, and those who will play it will attest to it being the single greatest challenge in this sport. Nothing good is easily won, and our winner tonight embodies all the character required to succeed at the highest level. Across the nomination period, this player continued to build upon a clearly established legacy that has rewritten the New Zealand record books. His record now reads 32 Test centuries and 34 Test half-centuries. His average sits at 54.98, and the number of Test caps won, rather fittingly, stands at exactly 100 and counting. Your ANZ Test Player of the Year 2024, Kane Williamson.
The shot. That's the player we know so well, Kane Williamson.
Class innings, Test 100, number 30.
There it is. Test century 31. Simply incredible. Test match century number 32 for Kane Williamson. What a remarkable cricketer this man is.
Well, Kane, it's not your first rodeo, as we established earlier in the evening. Quite fond of this format, are you?
Yeah, Test cricket's pretty close to my heart, as is T20 cricket, despite what Mitch Satner said. Had a few injuries in the last wee while, but always a privilege and a pleasure to represent your country, and Test cricket in the eyes of most of the players is the pinnacle, so it's always special.
Now, I know you don't like talking about yourself, but if you could and not deflect to the team for the next few minutes, I'd really appreciate that. I know you're not big on personal accolades, but given you work so hard at your craft, how pleasing is it to be recognised? When you know about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'll struggle with that because, to be honest, I do work hard like all the other players, and the motivating factor is the team contribution and what we're trying to buy into, and that's truly what I think I find enjoyment in. And so the accolades and some of the milestones are nice, but and you feel grateful for the recognition, but the motivating factor for me, it keeps coming back to that, and I try to continue to remind myself of that each day that I train and play, is that it's about the group that we're in and what we're trying to achieve together.
I'll give you that. It's also been a comeback season of sorts for yourself after a major injury. What does it mean to get back playing at this level again at your vintage best?
Vintage?
Okay, sorry.
Sound old.
Sorry.
A really interesting year, with the injury and then a few other bits and pieces, obviously just coming back and then breaking my thumb and a few testing moments. But I think out of all of it and being on the sidelines for a period of time, it's sort of that gratitude to be just back playing and finding that enjoyment of just being out there. And I think sometimes the sport and probably anything that you do often can become consuming, and it does for all of us at times, but I suppose having that time off the field and just knowing that this is what you've loved doing since you were young, and just sort of really appreciating that. So getting the opportunity to work through the rehab and come back out and play and represent New Zealand and sort of end up making the World Cup and being a part of that was special, and then on into the season.
Your parents obviously here tonight too, and you're now a dad of 3. How good. How has being a father, I guess, potentially changed your perspective on cricket?
Yeah, I mean, really closely related to injuries and other world events. My family, COVID baby, and ACL reconstruction baby. Canny, so I've got to be careful because we're quite content with 3. But look. Yeah, special. It's amazing. I mean, being a part of this group for a while, along with so many other members that share the journey with and share these other times as well, which is whether it's children or marriage or all these other stages of your life or first dog and all these things. It all seems to kind of work in the same order, but it's a big part of it. The support you get from your family. They touched on Tim and I in terms of the recent achievement of 100 test matches, which just makes you reflect on the time that you've had here and what it means to so many people, and your family being a big part of that. But you peel it right back to your first experience representing your country, but not only that, your younger days where you found your passion, and obviously that goes right back to your mum and dad and the support that they allowed you to sort of follow your dream and drive you to training every second day, and I'm sure it did their head in. But they're sitting here now at an awards evening, their first actually, just like yourself, and
love that.
I think they're enjoying a few drinks and a nice feed, so it's a good night.
Well, hopefully we'll all be invited back next year. Congratulations, thanks for your time. You are our ANZ Men's Test Player of the Year.
Thank you.